Welcome back. It's Lach and Raph. And as always, we are on a mission to dramatically improve the health and fitness of Australia's business executives and leaders, which is why today, Raph, we're going to be talking about getting fit with your kids.
Yeah, this is a really important episode because it is such a big change in your life. If you've had kids or you're thinking about having kids, I've got a 2 and a 4-year-old at home. So I'm like in that transition
Two
where
boys.
like 2 boys. So I've, felt what it's like to be really fit before kids. Definitely fall a long way off where I was at my fitness before kids and then go through the process of getting it back. It comes down to, of course, the same things as when you don't have kids: training, nutrition, and sleep. But there are some nuances now. So we're going to dive into that today. It's things I've done and then things we work with the clients on day to day in the gym. First of all, one thing we always go through, which I think is important, is that there are some basic truths, essentially excuse killers, that you do need to accept. Because if you still run these excuses, you won't get in shape. First one, kids don't actually make you eat bad foods. Kids don't actually make you gain weight. There's no like crazy genetic thing that, when you have children, all of a sudden your fat cells start to
Expand
get massive. And they definitely don't make you lose muscle. But I do think most people do eat more bad foods after kids. They definitely do gain weight, usually fat, and they often do lose muscle. So what is happening there? It's obviously that your lifestyle and behaviors have changed, and that's leading to a genuine change in your health and fitness. So answer is you need to take responsibility for your training and your lifestyle, and we'll get it back on track. And that's all it is. So first one up out of the training, nutrition, and sleep is training. And we love to start there because training, I think when you get back into it, you start to feel like some ways maybe how it was when you were in better shape when you were young. Get the endorphins running and you're like, wow, feeling good. I feel like I'm training hard again, right? It's the quickest way, I think, to get a win. One good meal, like one good salad, you don't feel on top of the world, right? One good training session, you do. So I was personally doing like a CrossFit style of training before having kids. And then I went into more like longer running stuff. So did like a half marathon and longer runs like that. Both of those I found to be really bad choices once having kids, because you need to go for the most time efficient workouts possible. So like the worst one I see, and for some reason it's the most popular, is cycling. It's awful when it comes to a time investment. Well, it's like 6 hours on a Sunday and it's a pretty small training impact. Obviously, you just lost so much time. You now lost like 20 to 25 hours to your kids. You don't lose it. I mean, it's great time investment, but it's not the best for your health and fitness. So you need to think about what's the most time effective training. For us, and I mean, really for everyone, the fact is strength training is the most time effective. You need less than 2 hours a week. You need less than 2 hours a week in the gym. And even to go deeper, it's simple and effective movements in the gym. So like before having kids, I'd go for the complex movements like a clean and jerk or a snatch. With kids, you don't have time for all the warm-ups and practice. You go for like the dumbbells, the basic machines, things you can get started. Yeah, kettle, like just straight away into training, right? That's where you want to put your focus on, and you can make huge impacts on how you look with under 2 hours a week, which even with kids, I think most people can find. Then you obviously want to look at things that don't take a lot of extra time. So upping your steps, 4,000, 10,000. Often it's no extra time. It's just tweaking your routine, right? Maybe like parking somewhere different or going for a walk while you're on a phone call. And then just short bouts of aerobic work. You can't like get rid of cardio, but I think the 6 hour cycle is not going to work usually if you're on a time crunch. So it's going to be more like sub 20-minute type workouts.
Nice. Yeah, probably worth noting just as well before we move on to the next thing is there are slight hormonal shifts that we notice during the pregnancy and after the pregnancy. Like there's a minor dip in testosterone. All I would say to that is seeing you and seeing other people that are fit and hold their routine go through it. It's not an excuse.
It's not an excuse because that stuff is minor.
It's minor. It's so minor.
It's so minor compared to the bad choices I was making. That was huge. The sleep is a huge one. So that's definitely like a legit one. Sleep can really ruin things, and usually just makes you make more bad choices, right? Because you're tired, you eat worse, you don't train. Leaving aside once sleep starts to get better, those changes are minimal. It's all in the lifestyle changes, right? And I find sometimes also with the training piece, it's like, I can't do what I used to do, like the 7-hour bike ride. So I'll just do nothing, right? Which is where you get the most off track. So that's a good point. Second one is nutrition. So I find with nutrition, obviously you need the same foods as before you had kids. The difference is now your organization needs to seriously go up because you like trade in all the time you used to spend organizing your own food to organizing your kids' food. So you tend to get like way more reactive, just eat when you're hungry. And guess what? That's the worst possible way to eat, right? Like reactive decisions at the last minute, eating out a lot more. You just need to really focus on how can I organize my food so I always have, 80% of the time, great, healthy food available, right? Which is usually going to be like the basics, lean proteins, fruits, vegetables, those types of things. And I think if you can just have that organized, the shopping, and whether that for our executives, that's going to be more like, meal delivery. Maybe it's like getting a chef in once a week to organize food at home. It's going to be like, maybe just like getting your executive assistant to like organize here's my list of restaurants and here's what I order from them and don't deviate from that. It's going to be that type of like choices made in advance.
Yes.
That I think is going to set you up for success.
Preparation is key.
Yeah. It's the same for you when you just get busy with anything, right? And I think with kids that like it goes up triple. Probably one side note I'd add, which, took me way off course, was like, I used to have like almost no snacks and stuff in the house. And then we took stock of this recently, and I have like, I reckon 13 liters of ice cream in this like chest freezer we have, because they'll do stuff like, we're like, oh, I want vanilla. We buy like 2 bottles of 2 liters. I hate vanilla. I'm not touching vanilla. Strawberry. I want the pink one. And then it's like, no, not the pink one where it's also with white wine. And you just end up with all this ice cream. And I would end up just like eating food to avoid the waste. And like, we got like party bag. Like every time they get lollies, I'm like, you can't eat the whole bag. So then we end up with these bags and bags of half open lolly bags at home.
So what's the solution?
So solution is, if you don't want to eat that, don't bring it in the house, because it ends up getting eaten. Like, I know it's waste.
So you mean don't let your kids eat it at all?
No, they can definitely have it. I'm saying avoid bringing it in the house. It's the house that's the killer.
Let's go out and eat ice cream.
Yeah. Or like you buy ice cream, like don't have so much to keep for at home. That would be the problem. I'd always go out and buy it. We wouldn't finish it. I'd bring it home. And this would just pile up over time. If you don't want to eat it, like you're like, this is not a good idea for my diet, do everything you can. And I know it's like more expensive to go to the shops and buy ice creams individually, but it's going to be better for your health and fitness.
Yeah, got it.
I think same thing if you don't have kids, but same thing here, right? Keep it out of the house. Third one is sleep. So sleep, incredibly important before kids, incredibly important after kids. But typically, now what it's like to have bad sleep, right? From having young kids. So this is an opportunity now to be like, okay, I know how bad it is. Let me get this right. And it's just putting a focus on it and doing all the sleep hygiene stuff we train our clients on regularly, right? Put the focus on, you got to do all the sleep hygiene stuff. You need the eye mask. We recommend like the 8 Sleep product, the one that like cools your mattress underneath. If it's like, they're quite expensive, but something you can afford. It's a great place to put money. Whether you need aircon to cool the temperature in your room, whether you need the block out blinds so like lights not flying in, everything, right? And like going back to the basics of getting to bed on time, getting up early, particularly if you have young kids, you might only have the early mornings to train now. So it's even more critical. You can't be as like flexible with your sleep as you could be before kids. So that's where it is there. It's just like a bit more discipline, I think, with the sleep and just zoning in.
Nice. Yeah, awesome. I mean, look, there's a lot of tips that would go through there and could make a very exhaustive list, but let's keep it simple for you, because we know if you've got kids and you're going through it right now, like a lot of our clients are, then you just need to stick to the basic stuff. You need some good reminders.
Basics. And, I'll tell you one thing as like a side note. I find with the most successful locker room clients, what they do is they don't, because they have kids now, they can't do all like the crazy crash stuff they maybe did before having kids. So like before kids, I might be like, dude, I'm just going to like go crazy and train like extra hard for the next few weeks and burn off the weight I gained over the holidays, no sugar, right? And or like I'm just going to, dude, I'm going like carnivore. It's a juice cleanse. Because those things are too difficult with kids, right? Like doing a juice cleanse at home is all this other food. Like it's just not going to happen, or like not going to find the time to just train twice a day for like burning off holidays. So because you can't bring those like kind of really big intensity focuses on your health and fitness, you have to just be consistent. That's all you can do is, right, you have limited time, be incredibly consistent with that limited time. And that's how you can often end up being in even better shape than before you had kids.
And there you go. And we've seen it and we do it on the regular. So as always, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll speak to you all on the next episode. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. If you want to get the information in this episode and more, you can download the 30-day health optimization blueprint, which is all the tools and tactics that we use with our clients every day for 30 days. We'll deliver you an email in your inbox. Just head to lockerroomgym.com/blueprint to get the emails. That's lockerroomgym.com/blueprint.